Good morning, students. I am Meenal Kungar, your business studies teacher. Welcome you all to online business studies class. And the today's topic of discussion is forms of business organization. There are different forms of business organization, that is sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family, company, cooperative society. And today we will discuss only two forms of business organization, that is sole proprietorship and partnership. Sole proprietorship. Sole means single and proprietorship means ownership. Thus, sole proprietorship refers to a form of business organization which is owned, managed and controlled by an individual who is the recipient of all profit and bearer of all risks. That means there is only a single person who handles the business. There is a single person in the business who is the owner. There may be employee, but owner is only one individual, and that individual is the recipient of all profit and bearer of all risks. So in sole proprietorship, all responsibility is with a single owner. There is no one other owner in this business. The meaning of sole proprietorship will be more clear by discussing its features. Some of the features of sole proprietorship is, very first feature is easy formation and closure. It is very easy to form and close. In your daily life, you see hundreds of examples of sole proprietorship. Your nearby grocery store, your nearby vegetable vendor, your nearby stationery shop may be of sole proprietorship. And these are very easy to form and close. There is no legal formality required. There is no need of incorporation. There is no need of registration in case of sole proprietorship. The next feature is unlimited liability. That means a sole proprietorship liability is unlimited. There is no limit on the liability of sole proprietorship. He has to pay all the losses. He has to bear all the losses. If the business is not able to pay the creditor out of its own profits, the creditors can recover the money from the personal property of business owner. The meaning of unlimited liability will be more clear to you when you will study the features of partnership and companies. Next most important feature is sole risk bearer and profit recipient. As in case of sole proprietorship, there is only a single owner. That owner bears all the risk in the business and gets all the profit. He doesn't have to share his profit or losses with anyone. Important feature of sole proprietorship is that the business does not have a separate entity from its proprietor. Whatever activity is done in the business is the responsibility of the proprietor himself. So whatever the liability of the business is the liability of sole proprietor. Next important feature is absolute control. A businessman have all control over its business in sole proprietorship. He needs not to take any consultation from anyone while taking any decision. He can control the business, he can run the business as he wants. as he have full control over the business. As that sole proprietor has invested all the money, that only person is the owner of the business, and he is having total control over the business. The next most important feature is lack of business continuity. As in case of sole proprietorship, sole proprietor is the only owner of the business. So in case of death, physical ailment, insanity of that sole proprietor, that may lead to detrimental effect on the business, and it can even cause to the closure of business. If that sole proprietor dies or gets insane or gets imprisoned, that business ceases to exist. Now we will discuss some of the merits of sole proprietorship. The first most important advantage of it is quick decision making. As I told you, that in case of sole proprietorship, a businessman has absolute control over the business. He needs not to consult anyone while taking any decision. He can take decision himself for his business. So there is no lengthy process of calling meeting and all in case of sole proprietorship, so the decision can easily be taken. Next point is ease of formation and closure. It is very easy to start a business in sole proprietorship form because there is no need to do any kind of formality. There is no need of registration in case of sole proprietorship. In your daily life, you see hundreds of examples of sole proprietorship. You are nearby grocery store, you are nearby vegetable vendor, you are nearby stationery store, as I told you earlier. All these are the example of sole proprietorship, and this can easily be set. And this can easily be started as well as easily be closed whenever a sole proprietor requires. Next point is direct incentive. Yes, this is one of the most important merit of sole proprietorship, that as I told you in its definition, that the sole proprietor is the single bearer of risk and recipient of all profits. So whatever the profit is in the business, all profit goes to the sole proprietor only. Sole proprietor has not to share his profit with anyone. So whatever labor he does in his business, he gets direct incentive in the form of profit. In case of sole proprietorship, confidentiality of information is always there. As there is only a single person to handle the business, he keeps all his business secret with him. He needs not to share it with anyone. So business secret does not go out of the business and the information remains confidential. And another important merit of sole proprietorship is sense of accomplishment. Sense of accomplishment means having a feeling that you have achieved something, getting a success in business, getting a profit in business, and when one knows that it is because of his or her efforts, fills him with sense of accomplishment. As I told you, that whatever profit is there in the business and that goes to that proprietor of the business, sole proprietor of the business. So if doing something for oneself gives self satisfaction, and when the result of business is success, when the result of business is profit, it instills the feeling of, instills the sense of accomplishment in. So in this picture you can see various examples of business done under sole proprietorship. There is a vegetable vendor, there is a musical instrument seller, there is a barber in this picture, there is an ice cream shop in this picture. There is one similarity in all this picture, that comparatively less funds are invested in all of these business, and comparatively less managerial abilities are required for running these business. So a sole proprietorship is suitable where the scale of operating a business is small, and where less capital is required, and where less managerial skills are required. The features, merits and demerits of sole proprietorship will be more clear to you by listening to this Jill's story. Jill was a girl. Once she got an idea that she could start selling her lemonade and make money off it. So she opened a lemonade store next to the community pool and hired some of her friends. It was easy for Jill to set up her shop because it was only her idea. One day, the mayor of her city came to take over some of her money so that streets can be built. One day the lemonade shop caught on fire. Now it was Jill's responsibility to rebuild her shop. Luckily, it was easy for Jill to start up shop again because it didn't cost her too much. One day the lemonade shop did well. The lemonade shop did well for a while until Jill died unexpectedly. Unfortunately, with Jill gone, the shop closed because no one else could keep it open. So students, what did you learn from this story? This storyboard shows that Jill started a lemonade shop according to her wish. As you can see this in the fourth picture that it is written, it was easy for Jill to set up her shop because it was only her idea. As I told you that one of the feature or one of the merit of the sole proprietorship is it is easy to form and easy to close. This also shows that she received all the profit alone, but when the shop caught fire, the whole responsibility of rebuilding it came upon her. As you can see, in this sixth picture, the lemonade shop caught on fire. Now it was Jill's responsibility to rebuild her shop. Rebuilding the shop was easy, but the shop closed down with the unexpected death of Jill. As I told you that it is one of the major disadvantages of sole proprietorship that it has limited life. A sole proprietorship business gets ended when the sole proprietor dies or gets insane or get physically